Hello and welcome to another episode of the Entrepreneur Enlightenment TV. Today's a special episode because I am the guest of the show and I'm answering the questions from the fans on Facebook and Instagram. I'm going to talk about Child Innocence Equine Experience because I have this passion project and a lot of people would like to know more, would like to contribute, would like to bring youth here. So I'm going to just go with the questions received, and also, as always, I'm going to tune into whatever the universe, spirit, God is wanting to share through me. Sometimes my ego mind thinks that I should leave that out, but I'm going to be as open and as flowing as I'm always on the shows. So first I would like to introduce myself. My name is Irina Mihaela and I'm a business advisor and energy healer. And in the last year I've dedicated my life to moving to this equine facility and buying the first horse ever and offering a program for youth where they come free of charge to have an equine experience. So now, the first question I received was, how did you know it was your calling? Mind you, I've never had horses in my life, and I don't really fully understand from the logical mind how did I come to do this when I am not a horse expert. When I grew up, I was abused as a child, so I had to take a lot of stamina and a lot of strength and a lot of determination to not be told what I cannot do. So in order for me to even be here, be in Canada, have a degree, I'm an engineer by trade, having built a successful career, I had to do a lot of work and I was guided by the angels. But I believe not everyone is as lucky as I was. I was always guided. I cannot tell you, I was 14, I was sexually abused, I was criticized, I was lost in school, I was beaten by my father and sent to sleep on the stairs. I don't know how the 14-year-old girl managed to wake up, to go to sleep and wake up every morning and have the drive. The only explanation I have is that she was guided by the angels. And actually in one of the meditations that I've done with a colleague, because I did a lot of work on myself, like I personally received more than 1,000 hours of energy healing, coaching, business coaching. Like I had put myself through school, if you may. I have done a ton of work on myself. So in one of those sessions, I saw the 14-year-old. She was like sleeping, crying in the bed, like really, she was just after her father punched her in the face. So she was on the bed and I saw this huge angel at her feet. So I really believe that the angels saved me because I cannot explain any other way. A 14-year-old had no support whatsoever, like nothing. And she made it. She went to university despite her father wanting her to be a hairdresser. She then built a successful career in nuclear engineering in her country, then immigrated to Canada by herself with $2,000 in her pocket and 2 suitcases in a vague promise of a job and no friends or family here. So that girl came to Canada and built another successful career in nuclear engineering, but in this country, top 10 in the world in my specialty. And then I left that corporate career again on a spiritual awakening when I had been told that my name Irina means peace and that I am supposed to be about inner peace and that I'm supposed to make an impact on the world peace. So I left the corporate career to start my business. I studied with Tony Robbins, the strategic intervention, and also he was partnered with Chloe Madanes, and she is a renowned family therapist. So I loved the family therapy part, and I healed myself through that process. Like I took 3 years to study the course, and I did every homework, and I cried the tears, and I have found the truth for myself. And then at that time I was married, and we bought land, and that's where I felt the vision is going to come. Like I could see horses in the field, except we had a different approach to life. Like I felt, and I still feel like a teenager, that I want to go, I want to build, I feel I'm here for a big purpose, and I owe it to myself and to the angels that supported me, because I feel I was supported in order for me to be able to support many people. I feel I have the power and the confidence and the courage and the stamina because I'm here to make a big impact. So then when the situation went that my partner, my ex-husband, was not really happy to have to work more because we were already at midlife and I felt like a teenager, I had the guts to leave everything that I built since coming to Canada. So everything I built in a 20-year of marriage, I left because of this, because I felt I have a calling and I have to offer this to youth. Now, why to youth? When I worked in my business coaching, I worked with high achievers, with businesses, I saw that people in their 40s, 60s, 50s, 60s, but I had a client, one of my first clients, she was 60 something, and she was still suffering from the childhood issues. She was still wishing that her mother would recognize her. And working with, I don't know, I didn't count, but hundreds of people, I don't know if thousands, but hundreds for sure. Working with hundreds of people, I saw the pattern. What had happened to us in childhood affects our life. And I saw people that went into the wrong career because they were driven by their parents. Like imagine me being a hairdresser when I have a talent for engineering, where I have like a problem solving talent. Like I would have not fulfilled my destiny, what I'm able to do, right? So we all have, there's nothing wrong with being a hairdresser if that's your calling and your purpose, but I had no interest. Like I never played with dolls. Like I had no interest in hair, no interest in pretty. I'm like a kind of tomboy, and I'm here, like I'm practical, and I dress pretty simple. Like if I need to go to the horse and run, I'm able to do it. So when we are able to fulfill our purpose, then we feel that we did justice to our life. So when I saw that in my business coaching, that people are affected by the childhood issues, and I started to do like business strategy, but more than business strategy, I started to do the healing of the inner child. And I saw people who had the wrong career, married the wrong person. I mean, nothing is really wrong because we are here to learn and grow. But they had suffered through life, and at 60 something to still suffer, that you would want it to be recognized by your mother. I thought, if I can help youth that had adverse childhood experiences, and adverse childhood experience could be abuse, could be neglect, but could even be somebody breaking their arm and having a trauma. So it's not necessarily that every client that comes to the Child Innocence Equine Experience need to be abused. If they had a trauma or something emotional that they need to shift in order to live a better life. That's the program. That's why we're doing it, because if we help youth when they are young, when they are discovering their path, then they start their life right. And if we can empower them and give them skills like leadership and entrepreneurship, which is what the Child Innocence Equine Experience project is meant to do, emotional well-being, and then leadership and entrepreneurship skills, then they can lead a good life, and they are the future of this planet. So we are contributing to a better world in the future. And you will think it's crazy, but one of the messages I received was that in 3 generations, if we do this work, if we empower youth, we can eradicate child abuse. And I just breathe that in for a second. For me, it's still big. Imagine a world where people, adults, do their own healing, so they don't need to abuse the children. Because some of those parents are not mean-spirited. They just never learn that we need to heal, that we need to heal the traumas of the past. And then they yell at the child. If the child is sensitive, then the child gets traumatized, and then that repeats for the next generation. So think about, if we do this work now, if we come together and support youth, in 3 generations, we can have no abuse. All right. I'm just going to take a deep breath, and I'm going to read the next question. Why did you call it equine experience, and how is it different from equine therapy? What are the outcomes in a typical session? I called it equine experience and not therapy because it is an experience, and everyone experiences life differently. When youth comes here, and anybody for that matter, adults, they come to be with a horse. They come to have an experience. So for youth that do not care about horses, don't like horses, are scared of horses, don't want to have anything to do with horses, this is not the place for them. But the people that came through, because I had youth comes through and we had the equine experiences, and I feel that there is a proof of concept now that now coming together we can take it further, because it's there, it works. I have testimonials, I've seen it done, and it's actually impressed myself in a way. So I call it experience because if we're told you're going to go to this therapy and this is what we're going to do, then there is an apprehension, because do you like going to therapy and pour your heart out? I feel, and I do this when I work with adults too, I feel that if we allow people to experience at their own pace, right? There are people who are extroverted and they ask questions and they want to know. And there are people who are introverted and they are not like really ready to say everything they want to say. They are more sensitive. And I feel that the horse, the horse energy is way bigger than a human energy. They have a big heart, and they have the ability to synchronize their heartbeat with ours and our heartbeat with theirs. So when we come around horses, and this horse, Amore, the horse I have at the moment, he's in the barn. I wish I could do this with him in the background, but maybe another time. He is a therapy horse. He was not trained to be a therapy horse. He was neglected himself, so he's a rescue horse, but he has that beingness of being a therapy horse. So he's kind and loving, and everyone, like child, adult. I think the youngest well, we had an open house, so I had like a 4-year-old with a father, and but the youngest that came to be with the equine experience was 10 years old. She never saw a horse in her life, but she was not scared at all. So from 10 years old, and I don't know the oldest person that I had, but it doesn't really matter. Probably, I don't know, somebody in their 60. Well, one of the neighbors was here, and I think she's in 70 something. So everyone who came, they felt that peace, because it's the horse energy that is peaceful, and there is no riding here. Everybody asks, like, is this therapeutic riding? No, it's just mindfulness, being with the horse. And there were people that came that were experienced horse people, and when I gave the instruction that you don't have to do anything, you're just being there, you don't give commands to the horse, you're not petting the horse, because if you think that the horse is the therapist, like they're working and they want to give you a message and you pet them, imagine you go to therapy and you caress the therapist's face. It just doesn't make sense. So through breathing, mindfulness, energy from the horse, and of course I had to bring my skills into it, because I never thought that I would be the one offering the sessions. I always thought that I'm the one that creates the space, and then there will be people who come and they're equine facilitators. But the way the universe worked was that they wanted me to bring all of this knowledge that I have in family therapy. I'll call it like that because that was the teachings. The family therapy, all of this, my own experience of becoming truly free of the abuse, becoming truly free of the past, of anything that is victim-like in me, like everything of that I cleared. And through the horse and through my abilities of understanding what happens in people's mind, what happens when you're abused, what you're thinking when you have difficulty in your childhood, combining the two, I was able to support not only the youth that came, but they came with an adult. Like most of them were with a parent, and some of them were with a guardian, like an aunt or somebody like that. But I was able to help the dynamic between them. And this is without teaching and without coaching and without doing a lot of me talking, just observing the interaction between the child, the horse, the parent. The parents, they usually stay in the office, and I take the child around and we do with the horse in the arena, but also I involve the youth with the horse chores, because I feel the experience is a total, complete experience when you're not only coming to receive, but you're also giving back. Because this is the way I want people to understand our healing and our receiving of energy is not because to invalidate us, because, oh, poor you, you're so whatever damage the word comes, but I don't believe in that word. I don't believe we're broken. I believe we're wounded, and you cannot give back. Like, I take them through the experience with the horse, through the interaction with the parent, and then through doing some chores. And of course I adapt based on the situation and based on the child. Some do the chores, some don't, but they will have the experience of what it is also to care for the horse. So through combining what I know, the energy healing and the horse, which is the main healer in the session, the youth has an experience and they felt at peace. So that's the number one. I told you my name means peace, and I feel inner peace is, if we have inner peace, we can make better decisions, we can fulfill our destiny, we can be healthy, we can help other people, right? Without inner peace and not being able to sleep at night, feeling unworthy and isolated and good for nothing or whatever those feelings are, it doesn't allow us to fulfill our destiny. So when they come, they have an experience. I have a one-off session, so anyone can come for one session. When I say anyone, like I talk with the parent ahead of time. I need a parent who is open-minded, because I want someone that brings their child and is also able to take a little bit of feedback. And I'm a pretty direct person, like cut to the chase, like tell you the truth. And what you do with the truth, that's totally your job. You do whatever. But if you come here and if I observe something, I will tell you the truth, the parent. With the youth, as I said, I don't coach them. I just observe, I ask questions, and I draw their attention to their interaction with the horse. And that is enough. I got good reports from parents that had children that displayed anger, that they were more open with the parent in the way home. I had someone who was down and depressed and was lifted up. Like, I had quite a few scenarios, and it worked in every situation. The ages is 14 to 24, youth. Because, I did take the 10 years old, and I have a policy to not refuse anyone if they are open. If someone is not open, probably, so far, I've been doing this for, let's say, half a year. I haven't refused anyone. Yes, I don't think I refused anyone, but it's probably who's attracted to this, they're already open. But that's what I look for, a parent or a guardian who is open. And then I do a bit of intake on the phone on the youth. I ask, what's the situation? As I said, I don't go in detail, I'm not going as if I do coaching with adults. I'm not doing that, but I'm understanding, so then I can connect the dots, because the geese are around. One of my strengths is that from the engineering is that I can connect the dots fast, and then I can solve a problem fast. So when they come, they have the experience. They can come one time, they can come 2 times, and then if the youth is really attracted to horses, they have a horse fetish, I want to say. One of the youth that came and came for the longer program, she had horse pajamas since she was 2. So if they have an inkling in leadership, entrepreneurship, horse, then I offer a 4-month program for establishing good emotions, leadership, and entrepreneurship. And I want to say this is free of charge. I have not charged them, and is through donations and through fundraising. And I'm raising funds and I'm getting sponsors, because one of the things that is very important to me is to create an ecosystem. So I have my business clients, I have the sponsors, I have the horse. And I say horses because there are 2 more horses to come and complete the team, but we'll have to see when the funds are available, when it lines up. But there are 2 more horses to come and be part of the team. So to create an ecosystem between the youth, the horses, and the business owners, sponsors, in such a way that one heals the other. Because as adults, we sometimes forget the child innocence, but when we help youth, when we help them heal, when we give to them, when we say, okay, I'm going to sponsor this, or I'm going to provide volunteering or support or anything that one can provide, through seeing them and through seeing their success, it heals us. And I believe that any one of us that heals the planet. Like, I believe we're not doing it selfishly just for us. We are uplifting everyone up. So the ecosystem is between the youth healing helps the adults also see the benefit of that and experience the joy and the beauty of supporting. Then the business owners maybe would in the future would give like a, how do you call it, co-op to the youth. And the horses, they also heal, because my horse, this one Amore, that is the superstar now, he was neglected for 9 years, but he was born to be a therapy horse. So much so that when I'm in the arena with a person, sometimes I trust the horse, but I'm also responsible. So sometimes I step in because I feel, okay, maybe the horse is too close to the youth, and I step in, and I kid you not, the horse looks at me like, let me work, like, why are you interfering with me? He was born to do this work. You'll have to come experience, or I don't know, if you are far in the world, you will have to watch videos I'm going to post about him, and I have some already. But he is meant to do this work. And horses also heal through doing their work, because if he was neglected for 9 years, he needs that love. He needs that. Like when a youth comes and grooms the horse, because if somebody is apprehensive about the horses but still wants to be with them, then the horse is in the cross ties, and the youth can groom the horse. You have to see the horse. The horse just like relaxes and feels like they are receiving that love that maybe 9 years alone in the field, they didn't receive any love. So this is Amore I'm speaking about, and I don't know the other 2 horses that are coming, what their stories will be. But we will see, and we will work with them. So the ecosystem is very important. The last question is, what is your vision for the next 5 years? And I want to inspire everyone to heal. I called it Child Innocence, because if we, and doesn't matter your upbringing, like I was severely abused, maybe you were not, maybe you were slapped one day or were yelled at. Do not underestimate the trauma that can happen. We cannot compare traumas. If we're sensitive, and we're sensitive as children, and somebody yells at you, and somebody with authority, that trauma can stay within you. And I called it child innocence, because if you can find your way back to the innocence where you feel, I'm innocent, it's not my fault, I'm guilty of nothing, that's my wish for everyone. Either you come here for an equine experience or not, if you find your innocence and you can say, like, put your hands on your heart and say, I am innocent, that means this project, this program has achieved its purpose. So my goal is for everyone to find their innocence, and with that innocence comes inner peace. I hope you have enjoyed today's episode. If you have questions about the program, about the vision, write them to me. I will answer them in other ways. Be inspired that anything is possible. Like, what are the chances of a person, of a child who was abused, like I was, who was told is good for nothing, and who was made the maid of the household, that she went to university, she graduated valedictorian, I did the speech at the end, came to Canada, married, lived that marriage, found a place, a beautiful place in nature where she has horses to offer to others in need. Like, if I can do this, and I I don't know exactly how the angels supported me, but I didn't have like physical support per se so far. If I can do this, anybody can fulfill their destiny. This was not something that I could have done on my own. And my vision for the future is where we all come together, do our own healing, and support other people healing. I hope to see you in the next episode.